Frank was 74 years old the day his doctor gave him the most dangerous advice of his life. It wasn't a bad prescription. It wasn't a misdiagnosis. It was 4 gentle words. The same 4 words we say to almost everyone Frank's age. Take it easy, Frank. And Frank did. He rested, he slowed down, he did exactly what he was told. And within a year, a man who used to walk to the corner store every morning couldn't get out of a chair without both hands. Here's what nobody told Frank, and what almost nobody tells you. For an aging body, rest is not medicine. Past a certain point, rest is the disease. And by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why, and what a group of 90-year-olds proved we can do about it.
Now, let's be fair to Frank, and to his doctor, and to you, if you've ever said take it easy to someone you love. The advice feels completely right. When you're young and you hurt yourself, you rest and you heal. When you're tired, you sit and you feel better. Rest has rescued us our whole lives, so it seems obvious that an old, worn-out body needs even more of it.
We treat the aging body like an old car, precious, fragile, something to drive less and less, to protect it. Keep the mileage low and it'll last longer, right? That's the trap, because a body is not a car. A car sitting in a garage stays exactly the same. A body sitting in a chair does something a machine never does. It disappears. And it disappears far, far faster than anyone realizes. That's the part Frank's doctor didn't mention. Not out of carelessness, but because most of us were never taught the number. So let me show you the number. It's genuinely shocking.
In 2007, researchers ran a study most people have never heard of. They took healthy older adults, not sick, not frail, average age around 67, and asked them to do something we tell seniors to do all the time: rest, in bed, for 10 days. Just 10 days. Not a broken hip, not surgery, not months. 10 days of the exact thing we call letting the body recover. When those 10 days were over, they measured what had happened to the muscle in their legs. They had lost around 2 pounds of pure muscle from their legs, and their leg strength had dropped by roughly 16%. Let that land. In the time it takes to get over a bad flu, a healthy older body can shed strength that took years to build. Because here's the cruel twist of biology. After about age 60, a body that isn't being used loses muscle at around 3% every year, and rest slams that process into overdrive. A younger person can lie in bed for 10 days and bounce back in a week. An older person can lie in bed for 10 days and never fully get that muscle back at all. So picture Frank, not 10 days in bed, a whole year of taking it easy. A little less walking, a little more sitting. Every quiet, comfortable, doctor-approved week, quietly subtracting strength he could not see leaving. Which raises the real question. If the muscle is vanishing, why did it show up as falling? Here's something we get completely backwards. We think seniors fall because their bones are fragile. But fragile bones are why a fall hurts so much. They're not usually why the fall happens. Think about the last time you tripped. You caught yourself. Your body fired. 100 tiny muscles snapped into action. Your legs shot out and you steadied. You didn't even think about it. That's save. That is strength. Fast, reactive, powerful muscle.
Now, take that strength away. 3% a year. Faster with every month of rest. The stumble is the same, but the catch never comes. The leg is too slow, too weak, and a trip that a stronger body would have shrugged off becomes a fall. This is not a rare tragedy. 1 in 4 Americans over 65 falls every single year. Over 80, it's 1 in 3. And falls are now the leading cause of injury death for older adults. more than 38,000 deaths a year, a number that has climbed more than 40% in a single decade. And here's the part that ties the whole thing together: the spiral. Frank rests, Frank gets weaker. Because he's weaker, he wobbles. Because he wobbles, he's scared. Because he's scared, he moves even less. And moving less makes him weaker still. Rest doesn't sit at the end of that spiral. Rest is what starts it. Every loop tightens. And for too many people, the loop ends with a fall, a broken hip, and a statistic almost no one says out loud. Within 1 year of breaking a hip, 20 to 30% of seniors don't survive, and only about half ever walk the way they used to again.
So by now, you might be thinking what Frank thought, that this is just what getting old is. A one-way road, a slow subtraction you can slow down but never stop, never reverse. That's exactly what the doctors of the 1980s believed too. And then a young researcher walked into a nursing home to prove them wrong. Her name was Maria Fiatorone, and the idea she proposed was, at the time, considered almost reckless. She wanted to take the frailest people she could find, nursing home residents, some using walkers, some who could barely rise from a chair, and put them on serious, heavy strength training. Real weight, real effort. Her volunteers were between 87 and 96 years old. Everyone told her it wouldn't work. The muscle was too old. The window had closed decades ago. At best, they said, you'll do nothing. At worst, you'll hurt them. She had them train their legs, 2, 3 times a week, pushing real resistance. 8 weeks. And then she measured their strength. I want you to guess the number before I say it. 10% stronger? 20? On average, their strength went up 174%, nearly 3 times stronger, in 8 weeks, in their 90s. Then she did it again, bigger. 100 frail residents, average age 87. Same result. Leg strength roughly doubled. But this time, the numbers walked off the page and into their lives. They walked faster. They climbed stairs they'd given up on. Some of them set down their walkers and picked up a cane. A few didn't need the cane. Muscle, it turns out, is not like your other parts. Your hearing doesn't come back. Your eyesight doesn't sharpen with practice. But muscle never stops listening. Ask it to grow at 70, at 80, at 96, and it grows. The window Frank's doctor thought had closed 40 years ago was never actually shut. And Fiatorone said something that should be on the wall of every doctor's office. The risks of strength training for an old body are smaller than the risks of frailty itself. The dangerous choice was never the barbell. The dangerous choice was the chair.
So, what does this actually mean for you or for someone you love? It means we have to retire one phrase. Take it easy is not a kindness. To an aging body, it's a slow instruction to disappear. The opposite of that phrase isn't run a marathon. Nobody's asking Frank to lift like an athlete. The science is almost embarrassingly forgiving. Standing up from a chair 10 times is strength training. Carrying the groceries instead of asking someone else to. Climbing the stairs on purpose. Holding onto the counter and rising up on your toes while the kettle boils. The body is not asking to be preserved in stillness like a photograph. It's asking to be used, because use is the only language it understands for keep this. Every time you make a muscle work, you are telling your body a message it will obey at any age. I still need this. Don't take it away. That's the reframe. Rest isn't safety. Rest is what you recover from, not what you build a life on. Motion is the medicine, and the prescription never expires.
And here's the fact that reframes this entire story. Remember that spiral? Rest, weakness, fear, more rest? Scientists discovered it runs in both directions. The very same loop that drags people down is the loop that lifts him up. Get a little stronger and you wobble less. Wobble less and you're less afraid. Less afraid, you move more. Move more and you get stronger still. The same machine that was taking Frank apart was always capable of putting him back together. He never needed a new body. He just needed to stop apologizing to the one he had. The muscle was never the thing that failed him. The belief was. Which leaves one last question, doesn't it? If muscle regrows at any age, no matter how old, what about the mind? Does the brain follow the same rule? Use it or lose it? That's where we're going next.